motivation? Stop lying. You don't need a vacation? Stop lying. You ain't got nowhere to go? Stop lying. Come on, y'all, let it flow. Stop lying. Lie right. Lie right. Lie right. Lie right. Y'all rethinking it? I just said it. Now tell me I'm lying.
What's up, y'all? We are back with another episode of LYIN, the judgment-free transformational podcast that focuses on community, culture, yo mama, yo daddy, everybody. We are here to talk about the things that I witness and realize in real life and also in social media. I'm here to talk about not too much on politics, religion, and stuff like that because I don't take too many things seriously, but I'm also here to show that brown and black people and also people of LGBTQIA and especially women have a huge big old voice, and I'm one of those people who need to tell y'all, speak up. Today, I have two very special guests, okay? We have two multidisciplinary, multi-hyphenate artists and activists straight out of New York City. They are sitting here shaking the table for people who don't look like everybody in media, okay? Because ain't nobody got time for that. Anybody that stands up for people who are like me, who look different, who are not in every single ad all over the place and are sitting here standing up for the people we believe in and they know they need a word, I'm here for them. So ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary folk, and all y'all niggas in between, welcome Amir and Yawny Blew.
What up, though?
Thank you.
What's up, y'all?
What's up?
What's poppin', baby?
Congratulations on your latest project.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. It's fire.
Thank you.
It's super fire. I have a few favorites on there. We're going to get into that, though. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are...
Yes.
Y'all are
queens a little bit.
Yo, let me tell you something. For the people who don't know,
Cheers,
I wish I could. Cheers in spirit. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Come on in.
Listen, for the people who don't know, y'all just dropped a project. And as activists, what was the motivation, the inspiration behind that big, it's a big old project. It's dance, it's R&B, it's funk, it's pop, hip hop, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Tell me what the inspiration was behind that body of work that y'all just dropped like that.
Shit. Wow. Well, thank you.
Yeah, I love it.
I'll say for me, well, the inspiration is first and foremost our friendship. We met a little over 2 years ago on social media. I found out about him as Tarik Carroll, photographer, which you've photographed you incredibly over the years.
For sure.
But I was so inspired by his work with his project, Everyman Project, and how he photographs plus size bodies. Found out he was a producer, sent me some production, and all I kept thinking about were those shoots that I saw. And I was like, what would score these shoots? Mm-hmm. So I started what would eventually become Can't Compete, ended up finding out that he rapped as well. Mm-hmm. We made it an anthem. And then from there, it was just like, well, hey, let's just keep going. And before we looked up, there was an album.
That's crazy. How long has this friendship been?
I mean, roughly
2 years.
This is crazy because the way y'all move, the energy that y'all have, you would think that I've known Tarik, 13 years?
Yeah.
So I would think it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, the energy you have.
A lot of people say that.
It's real. It's really real. Like, even the way you carry yourself. Like, even us meeting today, like, I was just like, I feel like I know him already. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's really like that. So you carry that, and that's how your music sounds. Your music sounds like y'all already knew each other. First of all, I got some words for you.
Okay, give me a tea. What's up?
Okay,
what's so
for y'all that don't know, I've known Tarik. And now I didn't even know you had the alter ego, okay? Because
let's get into it.
So Tarik Carroll has been shooting me. This is like 12 or 13 years now. We've been doing like these high quality, beautiful fashion shoots. And whenever you feel inspired, you like, yo, sis, what you doing? Mm-hmm. And you've produced some of the biggest, most viral images for me out of my career.
Gone viral a bunch of times.
And you've gotten me booked from bigger, whatever, like just companies, period, because they seen the work that we produced. So once again, thank you.
Thank you, but I got a few bookings too.
Let me tell you something. I'm like, yo, son. Yeah. So then after that, we started shooting some more, and you like, you want to hear what I did? And I'm like, wait, what? And you're like, oh yeah, I rapped it. And I'm like, but who did the production? Oh, I did that. Wait, so on the humble, you're just gonna be like, oh yeah, I did this. So that's when I found out you a full-blown musician.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so this, what you doing? What are you doing? And then boom, you were like, you want to get on one? And I was like, absolutely yes. Because you know how I am.
I know how you are.
I'm super picky.
Yes. I knew which record to send you to.
That's so
which
crazy.
Record to send you.
Beautiful. And I love it. I love the body of work in totality. I've heard more of your stuff too. Mm-hmm. I've heard your stuff. We get into you. But it's so good, and it doesn't sound like you just started. And I don't care about just starting either, because time is just not a real thing in my head. It's not real to me. It sounds like you've just been doing this for a very long time, and your passion supersedes like whatever the fuck I've seen in a long time from anybody. You. Woo! Woo! Grammy Award nominated, baby. Let's fucking go.
Give him his flowers,
No,
please.
for real. And just like the humility. He like, hey, can I have some tequila, please?
What I'm supposed to do?
You walk in, yo.
What's the Beyonce Cadillac? Gin. No. Thank you.
Amazing. Can you tell me about that?
So I've been writing now since I was 16 years old, and the Grammy nomination was interesting. I was working under Rodney Jerkins for a while. That's kind of where I got my start, and we were just doing all these writing camps and just trying out different things, trying to get on different projects. And I ended up doing an entire project work for demos for her, but ended up only making it on backgrounds for Hard Place.
Okay.
Which was still a blessing.
Amazing.
I had no idea that the song was even going to come out. Incredible record, and I got to see it go through the evolution. So it felt like I'm not nominated as a songwriter, which would have been incredible, but just even as a background vocalist, because I was able to see the process of that album, and I felt like I was a part of it still, even though the songs I wrote didn't make it on there. But to be on there as a background vocalist, it's really helped open a lot of doors for me. So that's kind of where I got my start, and I've just been writing and trying to figure it out ever since.
And you've been doing music for how long?
I started when I was 16.
Yeah.
So over 20 years? No,
See, this is
not
all
20,
of us.
Almost 20. Almost
Literally
20 years,
all
yeah.
of us. Because even if you just put out music, like you just recently started, it doesn't mean that it just wasn't in you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we've all been doing it for so long, it feels like normal. So for you, what is your, like, you know how... Basically, I talk to artists all day.
Yeah.
I speak to artists who are in the tough spot. I speak to the artists who are in the super comfortable spot. And I speak to the artists who are kind of like me, who are like, we're floaty. Like, I just like to do this. I make music. I don't have, like, this real goal. I just really love what I do. What is your goal when it comes to your musical talent? And why do you feel that if you have that solid goal, why?
I feel like I'm in the middle of a pivot right now. The goal was always to be a songwriter, to write for my heroes, which I still want to do. I've been able to work with some of my idols. Like I said, Rodney. I've been able to work with Pharrell. Been able to work with people I really admire. But I've noticed over the course of that, the sustainability as far as like the financial component. And just even creating credibility for yourself. Like I was in sessions with people who they would just pull off the street because they had like a viral record, which is incredible for that person.
Yeah.
But that's what I was.
You see my face?
Politically correct.
No, you see my face.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you start to notice, especially in this day and age, there's so many different ways to get to where we're trying to go. And I'm not knocking anybody because it's just, I chose the path I chose of like, let me keep my head down and be behind the scenes and write.
Okay.
And that was fun. And then I was, thrown into this version of the industry where it's just like, well, can you replicate this, or can we bring in this person, or like it wasn't making any sense after a while, creatively and financially. So I'm in the middle of a pivot of like, what does it look like for me as the artist, and even beyond that, what does it look like for me as the executive?
Got it.
Executive producing this album with Amir and creating it and doing the whole thing was my way of showing people my abilities as a creative director, as an executive producer, as an A&R. So now seeing where that takes me, how can I get involved with other artists or elevate other artists? Like I think you're incredible. How can we elevate you? How can we, just
Thank
people around in our vicinity that's like, we're all so special, but why are we under the radar? What does that even mean?
Yeah.
How do we make this more sustainable? Because it's like, you have a whole talk show going on right now in your living room.
For real.
Literally.
Like,
for real.
Literally.
You can get picked up tomorrow by iHeartRadio or something, and they're gonna look at you like, all right, do your thing. So it's like, these are all the tools.
Yeah.
So like, where's the money?
Right. You're right.
Yes.
There's I think there's no one way. And I was trying to explain that the other day, like, artists particularly get down on themselves, or we get down on ourselves because you are constantly comparing yourselves. You're in that comparison wheel to your peers. You may know someone who did get the bag, or you may know someone who don't even have a record and just got an advance of $3 million because they just popular.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And that sometimes is frustrating, but the point is exactly what you said. It's like you have to figure out how you fit in your life as an artist so that you don't go under. It's so easy to just be like, fuck all of this, fuck y'all.
Yeah.
I hate everyone, I'm stopping.
Yeah.
I think it's also too really figuring out what does success mean to you as an individual, because what success may mean for me may not mean for somebody else.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't desire being in the major label system.
Yeah.
But some people may
do.
want that, you know? So it's like, it's really carving out what success looks like for you and like making peace with that and living in that, figuring out how to thrive within that space.
Which is beautiful. What does success look like, if this is not too crazy of a question? Because some people really don't like being asked that because it's personal, right? But what, if you don't mind, like what does success, your musical success, it could be your photography journey. What does success, like the end look like for you, or your biggest moment? What does it look like for you?
So I think if you asked me that question 10 years ago, I would give you a different response because I've checked off a lot of my bucket list. Not a lot of them, but like maybe like 60% of my bucket list items as a photographer. I've been published in GQ France,
Period.
Vogue, Paper, People Magazine, New York Times, Vibe. Like, I've done all that shit. I've got to shoot my favorite rappers. I've got to intern at a major label. I had an amazing time. I got to shoot really dope campaigns, billboards, like all the things I wanted to do. I've done it to a certain degree, but I think when I was younger and I was manifesting, I didn't really think as much about sustainability. So I think for me, success is tied to sustainability. That's where I'm at with it now.
Like that?
Yeah. Can I sustain off of doing what I love? What avenues of passive income can I make for myself doing what I love? How can they all feed each other? You know, how do I build community? So like for me, that's where success is now.
Beautiful.
Same.
What? Same?
Yeah. I mean, right now this feels like success. Like I'm in the room promoting a
agree.
project that I created with a friend, being interviewed by a friend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's success, because a year ago I wouldn't have had an album to promote. I wouldn't have had an avenue to come promote it at, you know? Success is sustainability for sure. I've become very passionate about helping empower other people, because going through the music industry and entertainment industry and seeing how everybody right above us is just empowering people that look and feel like them, which is beautiful, but where's the queer older man that's going to pull me up, or the queer or the older Dominican or whatever, like, so it's like, let me be that for the next group of people. Let me help the next group of black and brown queer kids who don't openly get embraced by the music industry. Let me help push them forward, because they're mining us for ideas. They're sampling all our shit.
Yeah,
they're pulling
absolutely.
us for fashion.
Yeah.
So it's like, why aren't we in the forefront? So it's like, that is success for me. How can I help empower these kids so that they're not just getting robbed by the music industry? Educate them so they're not signing these deals and not reading the paperwork.
Right.
Like,
or even getting these, there are always people around you who are smart. Like there's some, TT's not a lawyer, the director, literally. Not a lawyer, but could be, right? So when I get a chunk of paperwork, she's so good at dissecting legal musical documents.
That's
You
a
got
gift.
You get what I'm saying?
And that's experience, I'm sure,
exactly.
yeah.
And that saves me from hiring a lawyer.
Yeah.
Also, people have to know to find those people, like find your tribe,
Yes.
instead of being so thirsty. And that's subjective too, because people hate when I be like, why are you so thirsty? But at the end of the day, I feel that way because, like, okay, I just did a gig for a Knicks commercial, right? And this goes back to the point, like, where does your talent lie? How are you utilizing your talent in order for your musical journey to make you money but still maintain your happiness? I don't mind making a commercial that's 30 seconds long if it's not She's Ryan on the fucking cover. Who cares? Honey, I don't care.
No.
But the person that I was recording with, or someone in the room, was like, yo, why you not like Nicki Minaj or something? And I'm like, because I don't want to be, bro. I don't want to be. And I said this before, it's not nothing against Nicki.
no, of course not.
That's not my path. That is not what I love. I don't see that for me. I don't even want that type of responsibility. I'm not going to hold
It's
you.
a lot of pressure.
Okay,
Yeah.
pressure. The thing is, I know me so well, I wouldn't even care about the pressure part. I'm just like, yo, I'm lazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little lazy. You know what I mean? I don't want that. I would rather see. Somebody told me like, so what do you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so what's your version of success? I'm like, the same thing you said. Everything that I manifested since 20 years old. I'm in my mid 30s now. I've done. Mm-hmm. Now it's time for me to re-manifest. Like, rewrite the things down that I want to do. I wrote down covers of magazines. I wrote down billboards. I wasn't specific enough. You get what I'm saying?
We've talked about this a few times. Yeah,
I wasn't, but I didn't know that, right? So I wrote all these things down. Like, yes, I want the billboards on Times Square. Had that like 20 times. I want the cover of a magazine. I want commercials.
You get all
I
that.
Did it, but then what? Then what?
Because it's the why. Like, what's the why?
I wrote down 2 Frenchies when I was 19. What are we looking at?
Hi, y'all.
Hi, y'all. Literally wrote that down. And I'm like, now it's time to redo this again. Redo it. Because I see my success. I'm successful for even sitting here on a Saturday drinking out of these red. Hallelujah.
You have to be ready for the pivot and just understanding that a lot of what we're going to end up doing, like our legacies aren't going to be like our heroes. Whoever your heroes are, Beyonce, Jay, whatever, like we're going to have different legacies. And I was the kid who came up. I was a fan of the music industry more than I was an artist for a long time. So it's like you kind of idolize, like my heroes were all the songwriters. So I was like, I gotta get a hit first and then I can put out an album. It's like, why would you tell yourself that? Like this shit literally can go any way, like any which way. Victoria Monet just got her first Grammy. She's what, 36?
Yeah.
Like best new artist.
Yeah.
And she's been doing this shit for a long time. Like there's no, and if she had told herself, I got to do it like Estadine.
I know she was 36.
Yo, and she looks amazing.
Come on. Let's be in the same age.
I mean, seriously,
She's been grinding.
I pride the artist, specifically the music artist that knows that there's no one way to succeed in this business, in this entertainment industry, period. There's no one way. There's not a cheat code. There's no format. There's no map. Every single person's journey is so unique. And I think from like 18 to my 25-year mark, I didn't know that. So I was like sitting here following the dumbest rules. Like I'll never forget when one of my producers told me like, when you go to parties, don't say nothing to nobody, just be mean. And I was like, that's how you do it? Okay. Like, so really?
But not telling you the people that work for had a handler, had a manager, had a assistant doing all the talking for them. Or came in with $1 million deal already.
I was literally poor. I had $11 in my bank account. And you told me in order to like look exclusive, to be mean as hell, non-personable, non-relatable. And when everybody comes up to me to take pictures, be like, maybe later. That is just not it. And the minute I stopped trying to follow whatever directions people were giving me, I got so much bullshit. Because I'm like, first of all, what are you doing?
That part.
What are you doing? The minute I stopped following people's directions to what they thought was best for me and my career is when I flourished. I skyrocketed out of here. Literally. And that's why it's so important for every kind of artist to not follow any rules. I mean, don't smoke crack.
Right.
Don't smoke crack.
Don't smoke crack.
Don't
smoke crack.
Yeah, don't.
But otherwise, do what the fuck you want.
Yeah,
like,
do what you want.
I watch so many, and I'm glad you acknowledge that too, because as a songwriter, I watch so many women especially get sidelined by these rules, because the rules are bullshit. And like I said, especially around women, the way that girls would show up to sessions and act because of how they were told to act, or the perception of like, well, this is what a female artist does. And it was really sad to see that like 9 times out of 10, I'd be in the room with a woman who was probably the most talented person in the room, but because she was told she was too cute, or she was too sexy, or she the artist, she would just show up and be quiet. And I'm like, what you think? Like, you want to write? Oh, no, it's fine, whatever. And it's like, what
whatever you want to do. I've gotten that too.
Just a lot of weird energy, and we have to, because we are in our second decades of this shit, and we have to be the ones to let the people behind us know, like, yo, show up and just be excellent. Like, that's the only thing that's required of you. Like, the only thing that I ever did that I won't stop doing, that I'm proud of, is that I show up, and if you put me onto an opportunity, whoever it is, I'm gonna show up and give 110%.
Absolutely.
Because that's what I know how to do. I show up and I get the work done. But outside of that, just be present and take on the opportunities that speak to you, and do what feels good. Don't think because you're the artist, you can't also be the stylist, be the makeup artist. Like, if it's a gift that you have, do it. Like, do all of that shit.
Absolutely.
Tarik and Amir slash,
Right.
you know, he did the music for the project, produced, rapped, and did everything on the project, but still showed up as a creative director, still showed up as a photographer.
You don't know people's journey. Like, you have no idea what people are going through at all.
Never know.
And what I've learned,
know.
the biggest thing with artists, creatives, people who are just multi-hyphenate, just multi-dimensional people, we got some shit going on.
Yeah.
We really do.
It's a
got
lot.
some
It's a
things.
lot. Choosing this career is a lot. And I think, again, going back to like trying to just change the perspective, we have to encourage healthier versions of this. Because how many of us have done this in scarcity, in fear? Like, I remember when I first went to LA, I showed up to every single session because I was scared. If I miss a session, I'm not going to get a placement.
Wow.
I lost my job. I got evicted. Dead, all types of, but I showed up. I would find a way to get to Calabasas every day. Don't nobody know how I'm getting up there, what I'm eating to get up there. I'm in somebody's mansion trying to make it, and I ain't paying my Con Edison bill. I didn't pay my.
But you weren't mean and acting like a douchebag.
But I wasn't mean. But
Right.
I was showing up to everything, and that was the thing I had to unlearn. Was like, I have to prioritize being happy, because if I'm showing up to everything but I'm miserable, I got my first placement on a bus to work that I had to jump. And I cried on the bus like, oh shit, I'm about to be on, my song's about to play on TV, and I couldn't afford this bus.
Yeah.
This don't make no sense.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
So I had to unlearn that. So that would be something that I'd want to instill on creatives coming up behind us. Like, do this and love it and embody it, but not at the expense of your life. Like,
Right.
there's balance.
Balance,
There's
right. Balance is big. And I tell people all the time, like, you can be the most popular, because me, I'm not a big party person. I've partied through my 20s. I'm partied out. I'm not a big party person. I'm not a big networker at all. I'm that person that goes into a room like, yes, people do see me. They are interested. They ask me what I do back to back. And I'd be like, I'm chilling. And I do that. Not on no fake humble shit. I don't feel like talking.
It's hard.
I don't feel
The concept of
like
networking is selling ass.
Yo, it's
a
but
lot.
some people
We're
are
showing up selling ass.
Yo,
It's a lot.
some people are so good at it, and I
God bless them.
don't care, because
I
that's
think-
for you.
yeah.
That's for y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's not my ministry.
It's
Yeah.
not for me at all. I'm a really good internet person, yo.
Yeah.
I'm good at going viral. I'm good at brand strategy.
And good
I'm
at doing
good
the work. You could have shown up and getting the work done. Like, I don't want to have to sell it. Like, just show up, put me in position to do the
Where I
work,
can do the
and let
work.
me shine there.
Right, because I've literally done all the things, and I put myself in position where y'all know me now. You know me. So when you do hire me, you do book me, and you do book me to write a song for your pop artist or whatever. I will be at that 15-hour session, and I will get it done, and y'all will have it hit. But otherwise, I ain't coming out the house.
You have a lot of people who network all day and all fucking night, and they ain't getting shit accomplished, because at the end of the day, it's like, you can fake it to a table, but once you get to that table, you gotta know how to eat.
Period.
And a lot of niggas don't know how to eat once they get to that table.
You know what I call that?
What?
A popular peasant.
A popular peasant.
Can we write that song?
We can, because
that.
that's what I call that, because I see people all day with the 1 million, 2 million followers. I know that they don't have no money. They've asked me for lending them money. I know people who have like tons of followers who are at every single event, pose with every celebrity. At home, they ain't got no furniture in their house. Still got
phone off, thing on Wi-Fi.
Yo, still, literally got the air mattress still in the crib. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
man.
I'm not even.
At the most basic level.
Oh, my bad.
Even at the most basic level too, people that are everywhere but don't actually, and this sounds cocky as fuck, but aren't good at what they do. Like, you could be everywhere, but then it's time to play a record, and it's like, oh, this, honey, this is bad.
You just outside for
This
no
is
reason.
bad.
Outside
posing.
for no reason.
Yo, was just with Diddy last night. No,
Uh-huh.
you took a picture with Diddy. He
last
does
night.
not know
what
you.
What are you really doing?
Yeah, so I don't get, because I used to always like feel kind of crazy, like, dang, I'm really not outside. Because,
Same.
but guess what? I don't want to be. And when it's time for me to go outside, there's a check involved, and that's period.
And the
okay,
thing is,
or I
too,
want to be.
I think also for us, I know we all learned, right? We've all learned that, like, how you, if that's how you get there, if that's not how you want to live, don't do it that way, right? So it's like, for example, if we want networking and we hate networking, guess what? We just set ourselves up to fail for life. Because now you got to show up to everything. You like, I don't even like this shit.
Right.
So it's
I
like,
don't even want to be here with
I
y'all
don't even like y'all
niggas.
niggas.
I ain't trying to share
Do
this
what
with
you
y'all.
love. Like,
Right.
do what you love,
Right.
because when you win, they're going to hit you to redo that shit. Like, you win doing this.
All the time.
Guess what? You like doing this.
Every time.
So you'll show up every day to set, like, Norman. You know what I'm saying? But you'll show up every day to set because you love this shit. But if you didn't like this and you were doing it because, well, so-and-so did, or I think, and this wins, and you gonna be on live with LYIN Ryan, and you sitting there miserable like, y'all, I'm lying.
I hate this. I hate my life, y'all.
I'm really
tired.
hating here.
I got bags, like my titties sagging. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, like not adding up.
When I saw y'all set up, like the passion you had about the lighting, the mics, you care about this.
Yes, absolutely.
So when you win, not if, when you win with this, you're gonna thrive, and that's the point.
Yes.
But going back to the networking, or even whatever it might be, if you don't love it, don't pour your heart into it. No matter who you saw win doing it, do what you love, and I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, what you love is the lane that's missing.
Yeah.
You know, it's so easy to crowd these lanes that are just flooded with niggas doing the same shit. When I started releasing music, they were like, well, you're gay and you sing R&B. Can you be mysterious?
Yeah.
Can you be a little weird?
It's like everybody will put you into this box.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, I think for me, like, that's why I'm grateful that I came into music in like my late 20s, early 30s, where I had like a stronger sense of like who I was. I didn't feel like I needed to be in any box, because like me starting a music career in my mid 30s, that's an anomaly in itself. So it's like, I already don't fit into any box. So why am I going to force myself into any box? I'm gonna just do what the fuck I want to do. And if you bitches like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't.
And that's what I call bravery, intersectionality of big, brave, black, queer men in entertainment, specifically music, is so unique.
Thank you.
It's not here. We don't see it all the time. It's bravery to me.
Thank you.
It's bravery, you know, and like you said, you started in your 30s. Listen, there's no age limit or gap or cap, period.
Right.
I saw Jelly Roll at the CMAs.
I saw Jelly Roll. He's
39 years old, best new artist.
He was spitting bars, you know what I mean? And I think from the industry that we come from, we're taught that youth is everything. You know what I mean? Like if you don't hit by 23 or 26, like you're washed. Like that's the industry that we come from. That's the time that we come from. But like we're learning more and more now that shit is not real. Like
it's not real.
Not real at all.
It's not.
It's not.
It makes me feel like nothing is real, y'all.
No.
Like nothing.
No.
Like everyone's perspective.
We make this shit up.
We making our story as
That's
we
the
go.
real cheat code.
Yo, the cheat code.
We making this shit up.
Ooh, I like it. It's like get fly and go outside.
Get fly and go outside.
That's it. We were talking about
do
making
your shit.
Yeah, we making content. You too busy thinking about, is this content gonna work? Is this gonna work? Are they gonna like the content? Do I need to get a new outfit from H&M then take it back? No, no.
Not an outfit
from H&M and take it back. You get what I'm saying? Because people are overthinking the concept of what the internet is. This is no rules to nothing. The internet, social media, life has no rules. Get fly, go outside.
You gotta do what you love. You gotta do what you love.
Seriously. And do it like with no, like just don't even think about it. And that's scary. And that's why I said bravery. And that's the first thing I think about when I see both of you is bravery. The first word that I think about is bravery. Why? Because you chose a path that's not easy on purpose. You chose a path that's not easy on purpose.
Yeah.
You chose it.
Yeah.
And it's been more rewarding, I'll say. So doing this project with him, doing my album before our project, just having that release has been really helpful. And I encourage more people to just make this shit what you want it to be. Like truthfully, like there's no rules. You could be a songwriter today and be the artist tomorrow and be the producer the next day. Like try on every hat because
who knows?
You don't know.
Who knows?
You don't know. And we deserve all those outlets. Like
for real.
I'm sure there's days you show up and taking a picture means the most to you that day. And there's days you show up and spitting a verse. And there's days you show up and the hair you wore that day meant the most to you. That was your artistic choice. The outfit, the song, like we get to do so much dope shit. So it's like, fuck it, make this shit what you want it to be.
Yeah, do all of it. No, like don't think too much. And I sometimes I get a lot of backlash from, especially in my DMs. I get a lot like, easy for you to say. I get that a lot. First of all, just
because I make it look easy.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, I make it look easy don't mean it's fucking easy.
Exactly. I be the
You don't gotta know my struggles. I'm telling them.
Yeah, you don't gotta know my struggles. You have no idea what my life looks like. It's not bad. It's not a bad life. Yeah. But still, there still has to be some tenacity behind.
You have to.
Come on.
You have to.
You have.
It takes a lot to even put yourself out there.
Honey, it takes a lot to get out of bed some days.
Girl.
Like, I'm tired as hell.
Girl.
Ma'am.
Ma'am.
Girl.
Like, the tenacity it takes, the resilience that it takes to not only just be an artist, to do what you want, to be fearless, right? Limitless. Yeah. It's crazy. It takes so much out of you. You sometimes, you sucked your own energy dry.
Yeah.
But guess how good it feels when you accomplish something at the end of the day? It feels amazing.
It does.
It feels amazing.
I think there's no substitute for the joy that you get when you're able to express yourself artistically in the most authentic way. I think that's real. And for those of us who have created in the space of compartmentalizing, sometimes you get lost. But for me, through this project and through this last year, because I've been doing a lot of pivoting this last year. Our podcast was a pivot.
How's that?
It's been going great. We've been interviewing a lot of different art. We interviewed you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Talking to different people.
That was my favorite episode.
That was a great episode.
Thank you for coming.
Right.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for being here,
Of
y'all.
course.
Through all of this, I am being reminded, like, going back to the question of success, that's the success of, like, this. It just feels good. Like, if you follow what feels good, that's all that matters. What's her name? Cynthia Erivo. I was listening to her interview with Jay Shetty, and she was talking about how, her career has been incredible. It's gone from 0 to 100. She went from just doing community theater to doing Wicked and doing all of this shit. She was just like, in school, I just did what felt good. She was like, I was in the piano room just playing around with songs for hours. I didn't know what it was going to lead to, but it felt good. And then it led to a show here. And then it led to me getting booked for Wicked, then getting booked for Aretha. And I'm like, sometimes as creators or artists, we get annoyed when we hear the people whose stories just sound like, every door just open. But when I heard her say it and her explain, like, I just kept doing what felt good, I was like, you know what? I received that.
That's the key, though.
I received that.
The key is to do what feels good. Like, for me, like, I'm someone I've always used my art as, like, ways of healing. You know what I mean? So it's like, I've always tried to lean towards doing what felt good and just constantly checking in with myself, like, does it still feel good?
Yeah.
Does it still feel good? If it doesn't, then that's when you pivot, Like,
you pivot, or you just do it for the bag, and then
or you do it for the bag,
and then cry yourself to sleep, and then I'll be happy when I wake up because I got the bag.
But you do it right. It's a bit of
everything.
It's a bit of both sometimes. You know what I mean? It's a bit of both. Sometimes you sacrifice that shit just to get the bag, but it's also to, like, just making sure you're constantly checking in with yourself. You know what I mean? Like, if it doesn't feel good, if this shit really doesn't feel good at all, then, like, you just have to really just kind of sit with yourself and, like, really reassess that.
For real. Yep.
That's key.
Right.
I think that's such a powerful lesson. I think we even experienced that going through this album, just having moments where, like, we started the project remotely. We're not even started the project, we started collaborating remotely, then finally met, had really great energy, great chemistry, then had to go back remote when I went back to LA. And hitting those bumps in the middle of the project of, like, having different things going on in our lives and trying to figure out, like, does this still feel good? And I remember having honest conversations with him of, like, I only want to finish this if it feels good. Does it still feel good? And just trying to get back on the same page. It was a labor of love, but we believed in the project. So just even going through that lesson and being able to come out of the end, like, you know what, we still believe in this project. Let's put it out.
Absolutely. And how many times have you seen your work on a big old artist mood board?
All of the big brands, LVMH, ASOS, Macy's, Harrods in the UK, Adidas, like, they pay WGSN $40,000 a month.
Wow.
And then tell them what trends are coming. So they interviewed myself and one of my models from the project, Marquise Neal, who had his own following before I even started Everyman. He was one of the people who encouraged me to really do the project. And they interviewed both of us as youth influencers to speak about the trends that were coming, the importance of body positivity in the movement and the voices and the communities that were being elevated through Instagram and socials, and, like, the importance of inclusion and really showcasing a wide range of body types and sizes. And they interviewed myself, Marquise, and the director of Boohoo Man. They interviewed all of us to speak about what would happen if brands didn't start really being inclusive. So this was 2017. And I did a whole interview with them, and with WGSN, that content goes directly out to all of those brands I mentioned. So they literally seen all of my shit. So within that next year, we started to see a lot of changes. And I'm not taking credit for all of that shit because I'm not the only movement. You know, there were other people that were doing really cool things too, but we went viral. Every man went viral, and we were every fucking where.
You were on TV.
I
watched you on TV.
Bro, I was on fucking TV.
Literally.
You know what I mean? So it's like, this shit went everywhere. So that next year when Gillette did a campaign, they used a lot of my color palettes, you know. American Apparel did a campaign. They even used a lot of the phrasing, like we have underwear for everybody. They even capitalized it.
Come
the same
on.
way I used a lot of the same color swatches. We used a lot of plants in our imagery. They had plants, the color gels, like, and it's like, if you follow my work as Tarik Carroll, like, you know what I do.
Absolutely.
And it's like, for me, I'm not like angry or anything like that, but it's just like, you know, you see shit, you know? And I think for me to be able to continue to do the work, it has to be sustainable for me. So it's like, you know, I think now my approach is always a humble approach, but also to directly reach out to people. Like, hey, I see what y'all doing. Bring me on so I can help elevate y'all vision.
That's big.
You know?
That's big. See,
And
we
it takes
see
a
y'all.
lot to do that, you know?
We see y'all. You ain't low.
We see you.
We see you. You ain't low.
I
These
see
big
you.
brands, these large corporations, y'all trying to cut the check, but we started it.
Look.
We started it. Speaking of y'all ain't low.
Y'all niggas ain't low.
Down
niggas
low.
ain't
DL niggas ain't nothing to fuck with. DL niggas ain't nothing to stop.
Wait, no, but you had a song.
You got a song. I got you ain't low,
You
but
ain't low?
y'all literally got on Dream Big, DL niggas. You don't even know your shit.
Oh, you talking about Damn Disconnected.
Exactly, DL niggas. Y'all talk about
Lord.
DL.
We don't talk about that song as much.
I don't love the record because I think when I started writing it, I wasn't in the most healed place. Because I was talking about a situation
A DL?
with a DL nigga I was dealing with that I had caught feelings for. It wasn't really from the most healed space when I started writing it. So I think when I hear the record, I just think about the space I was in.
All right, we don't got to talk about it. We don't got to talk about it. And for the
No.
people that don't know who DL people are, you're dead ass lying because you gay.
Can I add something though? I want to talk about the
Absolutely.
mood board thing because that I think it inspired my trajectory a ton. I didn't come in with much of any kind of blueprint as an artist outside of, like, you know, people would compare me like a Frank Ocean or like those. But for the most part, I was kind of just being brought into sessions off the strength for like, he's cool, whatever. But I'd be brought into these sessions where they'd bring in the mood boards or a brief that would say like, duplicate this or duplicate that as far as artists. And I would see the same artists coming up constantly. And I started to realize like, maybe it makes more sense for me to create a blueprint for myself because if I'm coming into sessions all the time, but they just want Tierra Whack or they want Azalea Banks or they want Frank Ocean, you're asking me to duplicate somebody else.
Absolutely.
What is it like to be that person? Because first of all, why aren't you just going straight to them? Probably can't afford them.
I was about to
But
say.
second of all, what is that like? Because I'm like, maybe there's more power in creating and versus me saying like I could do whatever you need. What is it like if I just create my own world and you say I want that? Do people come to you? And I was curious about it. So that's when I stepped away and was like, let me start sort of demonstrating how I can build these worlds without the interference of the artist or the label. So like with my first album, I really tried to show my respect for like R&B music and specifically alternative R&B music because that's my foundation. I'm a child of Usher and Beyonce, Rihanna. So I created an album where I was like, let me really super feed this R&B niche. And then with our project, I wanted to super feed the hip hop pop niche and show like I could build this world. So those mood boards, they ended up, I think, benefiting me because I think they empowered me as an artist to create a world.
I think one of the biggest blessings from the Everyman Project is that I was very blessed to speak in rooms where I got to really talk to people to affect change. And like I did an interview with Hearst Magazine, not an interview, I did a seminar with Hearst Magazine. And I got to speak with editors at 17 at Esquire and to really speak to the importance of, you know, it's not enough just to see what's going on within the body positivity community. It's like actually go within the community and like hire the people that are actually like doing this shit. I'm talking about like the independent stylists that are pulling from, you know, pulling their own ideas together to make shit happen. Like people are actually going out there and sewing their own fucking pieces.
Absolutely.
And
hire these
executing
people,
their own ideas or like finding those indie plus size vintage shops and putting shit together like out of their own mind. Plus Bus, shout out to Plus Bus. They're doing dope shit, but it's like actually go into a community instead of going on your fucking Rolodex and
People
hiring.
don't want to do the work.
People don't want to do the work.
And that's why what we do is so important, because I think if I do nothing else, I'm just trying to put people in position for other people to bring them in, because
Amen.
we deserve it. Like I said, I've been in rooms, I've watched mood boards, I've heard discussions. The biggest artists in the world are looking at Black and brown artists, and more specifically queer Black and brown artists.
Amen.
We set the culture. That's why I do respect what Beyonce did, because Renaissance is an album for Black and brown queer kids who have been influencing culture for decades and not really being put on a pedestal like that. But it's beyond her. Like this, everybody's pulling from these communities, and I'm sure the other communities too. But I could just speak as a queer man of color. Like I know my community is being mined constantly. So it's like, how do I put us in position? So doing Dream Big was my intention at the forefront of my mind. Was like, let me make the gayest, blackest, most New York shit that I can make,
gay.
so that the version of me that used to take this D train up and down.
Yeah.
You know, I used to ride. Actually, in high school, I used to take the D from 161st to 125th to catch the A all the way to Queens to go to the studio at 16 years old. For months, like I was that kid, and I didn't have a soundtrack. I was just doing it, making music, trying to figure this shit out. And it's like, the next version of me, the next incarnation of me, I want him to have Dream Big. I want them to listen to your music. I want to listen to TT's music. Because we are empowering each other. Like,
Absolutely.
we need each other, you know?
Yeah.
We didn't have that. And like I said, we are the mood boards. Like, more often than not, we're the fucking mood boards. So if you're watching this, you're a creative out there in cyberspace, you're doing some dope ass shit, I promise you're probably on somebody's mood board.
You are on the mood board.
Stick to your price, first of all.
Never
Stick
budge.
to your price.
Never
Stick
budge.
to your fucking
Stick to your price and talk your shit.
And create your community. You know,
Yeah.
don't network up. Network this
Across.
way. We're here. Like we need
Ask
each
the
other.
person next to
We're
you
here.
what
We
they're
need each
working
other.
on.
Never budge. See, y'all are so brave for creating change and visibility. Like, that's what this is for me, like outside looking in, right? Because I can sit here and float around all day. I'm a bad black bitch. I don't give a fuck about
Period, bitch.
Period. Like,
Superstar.
I'm gonna
Period.
tell you how it is. I'm gonna dress how I want. I could be masked, femme one day. I don't care. I don't care, because this is who I am. But
Period.
but let me tell you what we do not see.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because I've been doing this. This is now 20 years I've been like this, you know? So I grew up in Flatbush, Brooklyn, came to Harlem, always been a weirdo. Guess what's not weird now?
Yeah. But we still have a responsibility. Well, we don't have to, but I think
We
we're
do.
similar-minded. I think we take on the responsibility of understanding, like, we can assimilate to rooms, but we don't have to anymore.
No, never. But I'm saying, when it wasn't cool, I still had to be uncool because I had no choice. And that's what y'all are doing. Yeah. You're creating this space. You're showing people that you deserve to take up room.
Amen.
You are telling people that your voice should be big.
Amen.
And it's okay to be visible. Don't ever make yourself small.
We have to encourage diverse voices, because when you're in these rooms, and I'm sure we've all done it, we've all been at different levels of this shit. When you're in these rooms, there are a larger amount of the same voice constantly, whether it's the same type of, you know, you are a black female artist, so you know that there's the same type of black female artist that's shoved down everybody's throat, right? I'm a male R&B singer. I know that 9 times out of 10 niggas prefer for me to look a certain way, be a certain size,
Same
be
over
a
here.
certain demographic. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know that there's when you go into a room, like, you're gorgeous, you're talented, but you don't have blonde hair,
right,
you're
or
not
a
fair
BBL.
skinned, you don't have a BBL,
And I'm not light
there's a
skinned.
certain type of artist that's pushed, like, and it's unfortunate. Like, we know this, so it's like, but we still show up.
Yeah, for sure.
And
show up.
there's 100 of us that need us, because a girl might see herself in you and still not think she's beautiful because she's like, well, I don't look like Beyonce or Rihanna.
Yep.
And they're gorgeous and incredible, but it's like, this is beautiful too, and it's special and it's important. And same thing for us. And I think especially for men, you don't see as many movements because men are just we're
Men.
You know, we have to be
Closed
men.
off.
We have to be,
Closed off. A lot of times we don't talk about our emotions.
And queer
and
men
shit.
specifically, there's a certain way queer men are supposed to look, and we can have a whole conversation about, as queer men,
It's a whole nother
how our
conversation.
community makes us feel and invalidates us.
Right.
But
That's a whole show.
That's a whole show
That's
in
a
itself.
show,
We
honey.
ain't going there today.
That's part
But,
2 of LYIN
yeah,
Ryan,
it's
okay?
real. It's real.
That's part 2. There is judgment in every community, but I think it's the biggest statement to make a judgment, a statement on the world, not only in one community, right?
Yeah.
So if you are striving to do what y'all are doing right now, you're not even striving, you're doing it.
yes,
You're doing it. You're doing it. You're making an impact on the world. And that's big. So if the gays don't accept me because they be like, yeah, I like Ryan, but she ain't femme enough, but she ain't mask enough. I don't give a fuck.
And I ain't for y'all.
Yeah, I'm not for you.
And the thing about it is, it's like, fuck all of that shit. Fuck.
That's
There's
crazy.
There's at least 100 more people that check off 99% of our boxes out there.
Absolutely.
If each one of y'all can give me $10. But even bigger than that, if each one of y'all can stream Dream Big.
Absolutely.
But even bigger than that, if we connect with each other, we can create community.
Honestly, even looking at two of these people on this wall right here, Grace Jones and Tina Turner. Tina Turner had her comeback in her fucking 40s.
When women are told that they out to pasture in this industry.
Yeah.
Grace Jones never followed any fucking trend or fucking
beauty standards.
She set her own
redefined the
shit.
beauty standards.
So it's I think that is really what it's about, and that is the message that we really embedded in Dream Big and the process of writing it, recording it, concepting it was really doing music that felt freeing, that didn't box us in as two black men, two men of color, not boxing us into what we should be doing or what is expected of us.
First of all, thank y'all for letting me be on the remix to Zoom In. Thank you.
Of course. And can't compete.
I got
hell
y'all footage.
yeah.
And I was like, damn, what can we do? And my partner was like, well, babe, I got a drone. And I was like, it ain't 360, but it'll do. And we found an alleyway.
Yeah.
We found an alleyway and was just out there with China. And shout out to China, because she was really adamant about not trying to get in her head about the whole shit. She was like, I'm going to show up. Again, shout out to China because I love her. My girl China, she had Aries like me. She a fire sign. We get in our heads. We get a little crazy. And I think your talk got to her too, because she showed up to my house that day and she was like, well, Ryan said get fly and go outside. And I would get shots and I was like, you want to see them? She was like, nope, I'm going to get in my head. Just keep shooting. And I was like, damn, Ryan got us all together.
I'm dead
off
ass.
a 10-minute Zoom call.
I'm really like that, yo. I'm really like that. Because, listen, everybody around me is a little neurospicy, okay? Everybody.
I am very neurospicy.
I know you're neurospicy,
I'm
Tarik. I've known you for a long time. But the thing is, all of my neurodivergent friends are genius fucking people, but I don't got no ADHD. So my brain works
I have enough
in a
for
list,
all of us.
and really it works. Yo, my friends are all neurospicy, which is fire, because that's my balance, right? So y'all keep me on my toes. Period.
But you know what though? The neurospicy shit, that's a superpower.
Yeah.
Because
I said that.
What? I could break down learning how to use logic
Seriously.
in 2 seconds. But ask me to schedule a doctor's appointment. It's shit like that.
No,
you know?
seriously, I'm
shit like that.
And I'm the opposite way. It'll take me 2 months to learn logic, and I can schedule I can do all three of y'all's schedule in 2 minutes.
Same.
Because literally, I would just ask you, what do you have to do today? And I would really map out y'all schedules and play tour manager. Right. I'm really that's how my brain works. It's fucking calm.
But that's the
weird.
beauty of the ADHD brain, is that we can understand very complex shit that other people really struggle with.
I'm telling you.
But when it comes to everyday shit that need to get done, that's a whole nother animal.
That's so
You know what I
amazing.
mean? Forms, taxes, all that shit. Now they get done, but it be a struggle, bitch.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. All my neurodivergent friends keep me on my toes.
Yeah,
and also keep me super creative, because y'all really be hitting me over the head with some shit. I be like, what the fuck you mean? Go on top of the building and wear a pink thong. What are you talking about?
But that shit's kind.
But then it be fucking amazing.
It be
so
lit.
It's really so when you were talking on that Zoom and y'all was. I felt like everybody basically was like, what are we gonna do? But let's just try to figure something out. I said, if y'all just put on some clothes and go outside.
Get fly and go outside.
I needed that.
Yeah.
And I think that was a point in the project for me where I was trying to get excited to finish it. And I was being reserved because I was like, how much do I want to give this? But I think I just had so much going on with life. And like I said, I mean, shout out to us for having the chemistry we have, but we fast tracked a lot of shit. So we had our terrible, our terrible twos basically in the middle of our second year knowing each other. Of what are we doing? Do we know each other? Do we want to do this project?
Right.
And it hit because
Yeah.
You know, I mean, full transparency for me, when we connected, I was in the middle of a breakup, and I had to
Okay.
go back to LA to kind of wrap that up. So I was dealing with a lot of that.
Okay.
He had things going on in his life.
So we're still getting to know each other relatively, really, honestly.
It just doesn't feel like
the
it.
project was done in like maybe 4 sessions tops.
It
Most of
really
was done
was.
in the first 2, and I think by the second session, we were just in different places. So it was just like, well, what are we doing? Like the music was coming so fast, but then we had to also make sure that we had the dynamic to match the music.
Got it.
And like I said, life was happening, things were happening. We came out to LA, we had a million things going on. So it was that point when you guys came in of like, for me, I was like, do I want to finish this? Like, this feels like a lot.
Same.
I'm a little lost in all of
Same.
this. And I think you coming in and Taj Ray coming in and doing that remix first really gave me that second wing to be like, you know what?
To finish it up.
This is important. This is more important than whatever the personal stuff is that's happening.
Yep.
So I want to get this done because I want to show that 2 Black queer men can get an album done without the cattiness, without the messiness, like all of that stuff.
And there was never
it doesn't
any
have
of
to
that.
exist. Like it doesn't have to impact what's happening.
Yep.
I
Y'all
think
made
in
it.
writing
For real.
Dream Big, we pulled a lot of inspiration from Missy Elliott.
Missy.
Missy is a huge inspo, even down to our
Album cover.
creative director for the album cover. We pulled a lot of inspo from Can't Stand the Rain. I think for me, I am of the school of Azealia Banks.
No, me too.
And I'm a huge disciple. Disciple, yeah. Because I think what I love about what she's been able to do, especially with her program Expensive Taste, it's a melting pot of different genres. And I think that was something that was important for me. It's like I produced a good deal of records on the album, and I really wanted to have like a playground where we could really try and have fun doing different things, experimenting with house, funk, dance, hip hop, R&B, and just really pulling all that electronic elements and really pulling all that together into a space that
And
felt
women
like
are some of
boundless.
the only rappers actually rapping on different genres, at least in
Well,
my
all
in
kind
my-
of shit.
Yeah, because like even like a Iggy Azalea doing a lot of the house stuff that she's doing is like you're not hearing Jay-Z or these people on like house records.
Well, no,
You're not
nobody wants to
hearing-
do it.
Nobody wants to do it.
Nobody
so-
wants
No.
to do it.
And I love trap and I love what we do as Black artists, but I think there's so much out there in the world to pull from. So to your point, like, you know, Azalea, Iggy, even Nicki, even a lot of what the City Girls is doing, like just Doja.
Doja.
Yeah, Doja.
Doja's a huge
Shout out to
inspo
Doja.
for
She's
me.
doing a thing. Well, that's straight pop. So yeah, it was
But she's still a lyricist.
facts. Well,
Still
it's
lyricist,
but
yeah.
remember I said when it's not that boom bap, like everything doesn't have to be super metaphorical.
It don't.
Like she does not do that, and I just try to make a point to the people, like when you are rapping, it does not have to be super lyrical
Have
at
fun.
all.
It doesn't.
It
Lizzo-
doesn't.
Lizzo's a great example.
Yeah,
Lizzo is making
yeah.
pop music as a rapper, and like, is she rapping on every song? No, I remember there was a report that came out that said that Ariana Grande rapped more on 7 Rings than Lizzo did on Truth Hurts.
That's
and I'm like,
crazy.
that's true. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But that shows you how accessible rap is. I looked at the Grammy nominations today, and SZA is nominated for Best Melodic Rap. And that makes sense.
Yeah.
SZA's rapping.
Yeah.
She's a great
So
singer.
and so is
rapping.
Beyonce.
And so is Beyonce's rapping.
Beyonce's literally rapping.
Well, hold up. Beyonce's been rapping since Buggable.
Yeah, she.
Look,
she-
and then on the flip
Yeah,
side, we could
that is
say
rap.
She's been rapping since Buggable.
Yeah, anything with Wyclef Jean, she definitely rapping.
that for
Like
sure.
even no, it's like I don't think y'all gotta really get into it and hear it. Beyonce's been
She's been pulling
a
from
rapper.
rappers. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like I think we put these confinements on what rap should.
If I
or
don't
should
sound
not
like this
be.
on the track,
And it's
if I
like-
don't sound just like that on the track, that doesn't mean you're not rapping.
It don't mean like
It doesn't mean.
I don't gotta sound like fucking KRS-One on a fucking track to be that nigga. I'm that nigga. I'm him. He's him. We lit. You know what I mean? So it's like it's really about what's true to you. What's true to you? What's authentic to you?
Yeah.
What's authentic to who you are? What's authentic to your expression? Fuck all of these boxes that these niggas want to step here and put us in.
You look at the 90s, the top female rappers in the 90s, they weren't all, like you had Kim that was hypersexual, but you had Missy. You had Lauryn Hill. You had Queen
Yep.
Latifah. Like female
Foxy-
hip hop,
Foxy too.
Foxy was a different type of sexual than Kim. Like female hip hop has always
Queen
showcased
Latifah.
a range of dynamic that male hip hop has not had. So when I found my voice as a rapper and wanted to explore rap, it was the women that spoke to me. Some of the few men that stood out to me, I said Kendrick, Shout out to DDM. DDM has always been an inspiration.
Shout out
of
to
mine.
DDM.
And just a great collaborator and a great friend who really inspired us a lot. Like, I remember seeing DDM show in LA back April 2020 and telling myself, I don't got nothing that I could perform in a show like that. Like, it was just such a high energy hip hop show, and it was all the things that I loved about female hip hop, but in a male presentation. Like, it came out like Missy, and I was like, oh, I could do this shit.
Right.
So, but I was like, I don't got the music for this. So I started trying to figure it out, and DDM has been a great resource for us as we created the album.
Amen. Shout out to DDM because he has this song on his album. It was called The Ballad of Omar.
Yes.
I think if it wasn't for artists like BBM being the blueprint for us to really do what we're doing, it's like, you know, like we really have to give this man his fucking flowers.
DDM definitely deserves his flowers. I'll even give it to Lil Nas X, whose album,
he's
cool, but I think sonically his album is not just he's branded a rapper, but his album has a lot of country influences, and it's like,
I never heard a whole album from nothing.
And I think that the visual and the image of what he does is so much bigger that it drowns out the sonics.
Yeah.
But you listen to his album, it's like, oh, this is actually a good album, and there's so much influence here.
Y'all rule.
Thank you.
To be honest,
Thank
y'all
you.
were amazing guests. Can you just let us know where we can find you? But first, before that, what do you have coming next? What can we expect?
Okay, so I'm at Yawny Blew on all streaming platforms. That's YAWNYBLEW. I chose a name that meant absolutely nothing, so you can always find me.
He's searchable, and I am not.
I am
searchable.
Wait, what?
It means nothing.
What's up with you?
And there was supposed to, so there was a time in life where I was going to tell people different meanings. So every interview, I was going to be like, oh, it means this, it means that, just to see if people kept track, but I don't care anymore. But anyway, my real name is Johnny, so Yawny Blew. Favorite color is blue. But anyway, that's my name. And then as far as what I've got coming up, I'm working on a project called Ask Me in a Year that is an album that explores my journey through therapy and self-love and healing and traveling the Pacific West Coast. So stay tuned for that. I'm working on a new podcast series with Mike Brown of The Art of Letting Go.
Beautiful.
And yeah, I'm gonna be doing some cool shit with some tech companies soon. So just shh. And also,
I know some things we can't talk about, but that's incredible. And thank you for being here. You are so powerful.
I'm working on whatever you're working on next too.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you need hooks or something, I got you.
I need all the things.
You need some vocal production, I'm here.
Yo,
you need me to just show up?
Are you here now?
I'm here.
Are you gonna be climbing a mountain again?
Both.
All right, see? I'll just text you then.
But I'm here as long as you need me to be here.
Awesome.
We'll figure
Okay,
it
cool.
out.
Man.
And what about you, Amir, aka Tarik?
Well, I'm also working on a new project. It's called Three of Swords. And it will be out at the end of January or early February.
Oh, bitch, that's close.
It's close. So I'm recording, creating content, and really getting things done. This album has really been a huge part of healing for me this year. So I can't wait for people to hear what I've been working on to really catch up to where I'm at right now.
Beautiful. And is there any advice that you can give someone who is looking at you right now, because this is going to reach so many people of all different ages on all different platforms? Is there any advice that you can give people? It doesn't have to be in music or creativity or entertainment, but any advice that you can give to someone who you feel needs it right now.
I would say for me, where I'm at in my life right now, I'm really deep into prayer. So pray for resilience. Pray for resilience. Pray to be reassured, and just really, really tap into like self-care, you know, and really just like focus on nurturing you and like what you need, and just really lean into that as much as possible, especially right now.
I love it.
I would say to anybody looking for inspiration, watching this, Uncle Yawny loves you. If you need some love, reach out to me. We are all exceptional. We're all super talented, super special. And I think that more people need to know that and remember that. And if you need encouragement, you know, reach out. But just understand that what you have to give the world is important, it's needed. So just put it out there. That's my biggest advice, is just put shit out into the world. It don't matter if it's perfect. Just put it out in the world. Like Tyler, the Creator, said he got rich off his demos. So
Right, being crazy.
we got plenty of demos.
Right.
Let's go get rich.
Let's do it.
I love you. I'm rooting for you, and just put things in the world.
And we were all rooting for you.
We're all rooting for you. Learn from this.
Yo, Thank you all for tuning in to another episode of LYIN Podcast. Y'all were thinking it. I just say it. Now tell me I'm lying. Peace.